She's telepathic, call it black girl magic. Yeah, she scares the government. Deja vu a tough man. We go missing by the hundreds. The camera loves us, Oscar doesn't. They want us in the kitchen, kill our sons with lynchings. We get loud about it. Oh, now we're the bitches. Look at what they did to my sister. Last century, last week. They put her body in a jar and forget her.
What up,
What
everybody?
it do?
I am Shani B, and I'm with my girl,
Becca.
Okay, and welcome to our 10th episode of Revolution Ready Radio.
Yes.
So, Becca, what we talking about today? I know we got a Blacktastic and a bootlicker. Which one we gonna go to first?
Girl, we got so much to cover today, but you know how we do.
Okay, let's go to the bootlicker. Let's end on a positive note. So, bootlicker. What is a bootlicker for our listeners who don't know?
So my brother Tory Lowe taught me the bootlicker is somebody that lick massa boots.
Massa boots?
Massa boots.
Kind of like an Uncle Ruckus or,
Uncle
you know what I'm saying?
Ruckus.
The traitors in our community. So who's getting bootlicker of the week this
The
week?
first bootlicker we finna get to because I can't wait. Yeah, we got more than one today.
snap.
So last week we had 0 bootlickers because we just felt like, you know, we ain't feel like giving it out to nobody last week. We was nice. But this week, Morale ass is a bootlicker.
Morale
Boot
ass.
liquor. Yeah, he a bootlicker.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Okay.
He bootlicker number 1.
So why I know who is Morales?
Morale ass is the chief of police the former chief of police from Milwaukee that got demoted to captain that decided that he was going to go ahead and retire because he couldn't take being demoted to captain from chief who mishandled a lot of cases, namely Joel Acevedo's case. And then he decided that he was going to come back. He's going to get a lawyer. He's going to sue Milwaukee for they didn't give him a due process is what he said. And then he wants to come back. And it looks like it's all contingent upon money. I'm getting sick of people who have power that don't have principle.
Can we give him a...
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
So Morales is number 1. Our second bootlicker for the day,
Okay.
in which we don't even have a name for this bootlicker.
Now this one is sad.
But because we see so many people are hurting around Milwaukee because of the events that happened, whoever it was that killed Mr. Rob Smith is a bootlicker. You took somebody husband, somebody daddy, somebody friend. He was well loved in the city. Very creative man. You a bootlicker, bro.
Helping the system. Taking
Bro,
away our
sis,
greatness.
whoever you are, you a bootlicker.
Okay, so we're going to try to lift this show back up, and we're going to talk about something positive. Let's talk about Blacktastic.
Who is
we
our
got?
Blacktastic?
We got Malele Cox.
Miss Malele Cox.
So, sis, why she getting Blacktastic, excuse me.
The reason Miss Malele is getting Blacktastic is because Milwaukee Common Council had to vote on whether or not they will receive this federal grant for the police in which they would implement Project Legend. Project Legend is code name for war on drugs. That's one of the reasons they were receiving a grant. And we don't need a war on drugs. We need treatment for drugs. War on drugs mean kick in more doors and shoot more black people, whether they guilty or innocent. They already got half of the budget in Milwaukee, up almost $300 million. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you mean to tell me you don't have money for the citizens who are suffering and struggling, but we can pull federal grants for officers even after such a long campaign of defunding the police and reallocating funds back into the community. But Miss Malele Cox, in the meeting, decided to vote no. Not only did she decide to vote no, but she brought them to a level of consciousness. She had more to say, fam. She said more than just no. She said we're not dealing with the issue at hand. It's another conversation that we need to have. So, Malele, we hear you. We thank you. You definitely deserve to be where you are right now. And we appreciate you. You are Blacktastic to us. And we thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So we're going to get started with the show. We have a few guests in the studio today, but we're going to start off with Mr. Antonio.
Mr. Jimmy McAfee.
Jimmy McAfee.
Yes.
Good evening, Jimmy. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing very well. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the platform very, very much.
For
Absolutely.
sure. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, it's not necessarily my story, but it is because it affects not only me, but my family. I represent the Justice for Antonio McAfee campaign. My uncle was Antonio McAfee. In 1996, he was arrested for the killing of a Milwaukee police officer by the name of Wendell Tanner. There were different circumstances that involved this case, but with the evidence that we know that now exists and that existed then, this was one of the biggest cover-ups that this city has ever known. It's been so long ago that it's been swept up under the rug in the spirit of the Black Lives Matter movement, Becca. This is one of those cases that the establishment itself killed a black man without even firing one bullet by giving him life without the possibility of parole for a crime that he did not commit. We know that gravity and the laws of gravity won't allow me to shoot you in your back if you're chasing me. Guns just don't operate that way. I've never shot one, but I never saw a gun go around somebody and shoot them in the back. As in this particular case where my uncle was being chased by Officer Wendell Tanner and Officer Brian Ketterhagen. And during this pursuit, my uncle did fire back into the air to try to slow down the pursuit because he was a felon in the possession of a firearm at the time. But we know that Wendell Tanner was shot in the back. And we know that the only person that was firing behind Wendell Tanner was his partner at the time, which was Brian Ketterhagen. And so what happened was they systematically came up with a way to cover up this fact, put this complete homicide on my uncle, and allowing Brian Ketterhagen to go free to do another cover up in a whole nother state as a police captain at that time. You talked about bootlickers. If you go back to 1996, Arthur Jones was one of the biggest bootlickers that I've ever known because he allowed this tragedy to happen under his watch as the Milwaukee police chief. Well, we have a black police officer, Wendell Tanner, who was overall a good man, a good police officer, who was gunned down by the irresponsible behavior of Brian Ketterhagen. And sometime, Becca, I don't know if he did it on purpose. Sometime I think it, just to be honest with you, because one thing that he said in his testimony was that he saw a silhouette and he shot. And we know that silhouettes are black. And I don't, however you look at it, a silhouette is a black object. And this white police officer, who we now know to be a white national, we now know that he went to another state and covered up a homicide. Where another man subsequently arrested, found guilty, and convicted, but due to work of another outside agency was vindicated because of the work of this police officer involved, Brian Ketterhagen.
Wow.
So guess what, y'all? He reached out to me a couple months ago, maybe.
Yes, ma'am.
Wendell Tanner was the officer that lived next door to me as a little girl. So I knew him, and I know his family. So he gave me the story, and I'm listening. And then he said Wendell Tanner, and I'm like, Wendell Tanner, I know him. So I remember when all of this happened. He was an honorable man. Like, he was cool. He was like Uncle Odell. That's what we used to call him, Uncle Odell. You know? And the crazy thing is, I believe, what I heard from one of the nephews is that he had an incident where he was being harassed by the officer that he's saying killed Wendell. He was being harassed by that officer's nephews. They are officers now. That's crazy.
Just sounds like
that's
a
just
huge
like
conspiracy.
a big old right. So, what are
Hey,
some of
Becca.
the challenges that you are having right now with your uncle's case?
Well, some of the challenges that we're having, my grandparents, who are hardworking people, just like real quick, if I have some of the backgrounds, they both come from good.
Your signal. Oh man, this was a good story. I really want to get the rest of it because it's too
Exhausted.
many.
In the pursuit.
Hey, brother,
I beg your pardon?
check
We
your
didn't get
connection. We
none of that.
we didn't get none of that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Better. It's good. Now you
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
They both came from some of the same backgrounds. And my grandparents have exhausted, and the family, we have a big family, but the means are just not there to try to vigorously fight this case the way that it needs to be fought. I talked to a brother the other day who I reached out to. I won't say his name, but he told me, he said, justice ain't free. And it's sad to say that in America right now, it seems as though that's the case. But there have been some people that have stood up to stand shoulder to shoulder with us in this fight. This case has been it has never been dormant to us because we're missing that piece of our family structure, which is Antonio McAfee. So without that missing piece, we can't move forward and we won't move forward. We're vigorously relaunching this campaign because we can't leave him there. As one of our mottos is that justice delayed is justice denied. That's for anybody. And in the spirit of Black Lives Matter, Antonio McAfee lives matter so much, especially to us. He was wrongfully convicted in a court here by a corrupt police system, a corrupt district attorney's office, and so many civic leaders at that time who turned a blind eye to what took place. It's not fair for Wendell Tanner's legacy to be that another black man killed him when they know that Brian Ketterhagen is responsible for this death. Prior to him becoming a Milwaukee police officer, Becca, he was a UW Parkside police officer where he was discharged for pulling a gun on another co-worker and telling him he'll blow his ass away.
Wow.
So we see that pattern with him coming on prior to he never should have been hired as an MPD officer, which to me is one of the main cover-up took place, is that he never should have been hired as a Milwaukee police officer in the first place with the background that he had in his prior job in law enforcement. And then moving forward, once again, he goes to another state with this same behavior, putting people in prison for crime that they didn't commit. But this is one case that it seems as though he got away with it, and we just can't let that happen. Not on our watch. We have a civic responsibility, not just to my uncle, but I also want justice for Wendell Tanner. I want the truth to be known about who took this man's life, and it was not my uncle. It was Brian Ketterhagen. And we thank you so much, Becca, because from the day that I brought this to you, you haven't missed a beat. We've had some technical glitches, but I want to thank you for the platform because there's so much evidence in this case that we have. Autopsy pictures. We have pictures of Brian Ketterhagen directly after the shooting. He never even tried to save his life. He never even tried to save Wendell's life. He never touched his body, period. You know, they're trained to do CPR and to try to do life. That never took place. At the time, their communications were off, that they were on two different channels. So He thought either he thought he was shooting my uncle, or he knew he was shooting Wendell Tanner. I have another personnel report for him. He was an expert marksman. He was rated to be an expert marksman, just like Wendell was. So there was no way that this mistake should have happened, other than either it wasn't a mistake, or he's just not taking responsibility for the mistake that took place. And at that cost, we got 2 lives who were lost, and we have one man who, my uncle's release date is deceased. That's what his release date says right now. There's missing evidence in this case. We have a report by Ira Robbins, who he at one point represented Laurentia Bembenek. I don't know if you remember this case, but she was a lady who was involved in the cover-up with the Milwaukee police in the early 1990s. This investigator did a full-fledged report on my uncle's case. He named names from E. Mike McCann to Bob Donahue to inspectors and lab technicians who were involved in this case. And I don't know how to put it other than a cover-up, a bad cover-up. But we're still here to expose it from the root of it, and to bring my uncle home, because it's not fair that he's been there for 25 years for this crime and he didn't commit it. Now, and I'm going to say that he's not culpable in any of this. No, he shouldn't have ran. But who ain't going to run up there fell in the possession of a firearm with a gun? No, he should not have shot. But that does not take away from the fact that Brian Ketterhagen fired the fatal bullets that killed Wendell Tanner, not Antonio McAfee.
Wow. And how can the community assist y'all in y'all fight for justice?
These are ways that we would like for assistance. Anybody that has a legal degree, a law degree, that believes in social justice and believes in doing what's right. As I said, funds have been exhausted, but I gave you the GoFundMe page. We're going by GoFundMe. All proceeds will be used for the legal defense of Antonio McAfee. We made the GoFundMe with an outside administrator, so there wouldn't even be a look of impropriety as far as the funds were concerned. And 2, if there's any attorneys out there who are willing to fight this case in court, any lawyers who are willing to do sentence commutations, any politicians who have an influence on Governor Tony Evers, that he could even commute this sentence from a life without the possibility of parole to time served. Because if he's guilty of anything, it would be recklessly endangering safety, causing murder, or reckless homicide. But, you know, he didn't intentionally want this to happen. My uncle served the military. My uncle is a father. My uncle has always and will be a champion of things of what's right. Even to this day, while he sits where he is, he gives advice. He helps young people that are in prison to not make those same mistakes that he made. And he fights for the things that matter. And one of the things that he believes that matter is justice. He has me helping people out in prison all the time, for little situations, petty crimes. And he has the biggest fight in his life. And one thing, Becca, my uncle's story has never changed. Not one drop of his story in 25 years has ever changed. And if he's willing to stand up for what's right and stand up to fight for what he's willing to do, we're just looking for all those who are willing, who are able to stand up for this stand up against this injustice and bring Tony home. It's time.
Wow.
It's time.
Let's see. That's a lot. There's so many people who are caught up in the criminal justice system, and it's so sad to hear your uncle's story, because I know a lot of people that are going through the same thing, like being incarcerated for crimes that they did not commit. And I'm speechless.
Lost for words. Listen,
Yes.
if y'all want to help out, if this story touched you, go to the GoFundMe, Justice for Antonio McAfee Legal Defense Campaign. As the brother said, it is governed by a third party, just so they can keep the integrity of the money that's coming in. You will see it posted at the bottom. And if you know a lawyer, anybody who is willing to jump in on this case, Make sure y'all hit us up. Make sure you click on that GoFundMe. And then if they want to reach you directly, Jimmy, how can they reach you?
If they want to reach me directly, they can reach me at McAfeeJimmy4@gmail.com. They can also reach directly to us through the Justice for Antonio McAfee page on Facebook, Twitter, and also I'll give out my cell phone number, 414
It's not meant for you to do that.
67360.
Go ahead and drop that in the live if you want to drop that in the live. We do have Ray Nitty here in the studio, and he said he would love to connect you with his lawyer, so I'll connect the two of you, okay?
Thank you so much. Hey, Becca, I want to tell you something before I go.
Yeah.
You're a rock star. What
Yeah.
you do is so important. You're great. You are from the bottom of my heart.
Love, bro.
Absolutely.
It's big stuff coming for you. We're going to keep praying for y'all, and I'm going to hook you up with Ray Nitty. I think he
Thank
have
you
some
so
more
much.
outlets for you, okay?
To get your story out there.
Thank you so much. And you guys have a blessed evening, okay?
You
too. Love, bro.
Whew, that was deep. That was definitely deep. I mean, whew, I'm still at a loss for words because that story touched home, like for real.
That's crazy. All right, y'all. We had to take a little pause moment.
For real.
Please make sure y'all reach out and support the GoFundMe for Antonio McAfee. Send him a letter. Do something. Listen.
Send him a letter. Yeah.
Next up,
And share this.
share this live. Go ahead and
Get
share
to do
this
that.
live. Next up, we have the
Beautiful.
Tiffany. Beautiful. What else you want to say?
Courageous.
Resilient.
All of that stuff.
Orlat, our future.
Black girl
our
magic.
future mayor, Henry. Ew.
Hi, Miss Henry. How you doing?
Hi, beauties. I must say thank you for inviting me to come to this sacred space, and I say that in all honesty because I've seen the podcast and I've been watching who's been on here, and just getting knowledge because I think you could never be too busy to get knowledge and get information to learn from others, but also just watching how you guys have taken this platform and decided to get it to people, to talk about what needs to be talked about, to have a good time while we talk about what needs to be talked about, but also allow for this space to be used for what we just heard, to really, elevate minds. And so I think about elevation. That's been my word, what I'm trying to say, what I think is going to go for 2021 is elevation. And how do we do that? And how do I do that? How do you do that? So I just say thank y'all. I love y'all. I just feel like it's a kinetic energy that we met this year, and already we have just been able to just see some great things, do some great things, and so I'm just thankful that you guys have brought me to your space tonight.
For sure. We are honored to have you here.
Definitely.
I call Tiffany Tip, y'all, sometimes.
Yep, she does.
I do sometimes. That's like my little pet name. Forgive me.
It's all right.
We're going to try to keep it professional.
It's all right. Call me that.
Professional. Okay.
Yes.
So, Tiffany, can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so the funny thing is people think that I am actually native to Milwaukee, but I'm not. I love Milwaukee and I love it like it is home. But I was not born and raised here, so I'm learning everything. I've learned all of the different, just the schools and why people why they love Rufus King or why they love Washington and all that stuff. And I'm trying to figure out who's number one. But I love that. But I love that spirit. I love that energy, and I love the fact that people love their city and they fight for Milwaukee. And so because they have fought and I'm here, I'm fighting for it too. But I am native of Beloit, Wisconsin, which is an hour south of here. Familiar with Milwaukee all the time, coming here for different things, various things. I matriculated and went to Xavier University. It's the best HBCU. I don't care who tells you. I don't care about the Mecca, what they know as Howard. I don't know what they call about Hampton or Southern, but I'm telling you, Xavier University of Louisiana is the best HBCU. We are known for sending the #1 school for sending African Americans to medical school, and they're not only going there, they're graduating and they're becoming doctors.
I heard that.
So we're seeing black doctors, black pharmacists, black everything, dentists all across this country that are coming out of that school. God did not give me that, or else you would be stuck if He put me in that field. But He gave me the spirit that which has led me into social justice, into politics, and I've always had a frame of mind of being in this space where I can advocate for people and to be able to even step aside and let people who feel like they have a voice, give them a voice so they can talk for themselves, but really to help people get into the rooms so they can have that voice. And my parents instilled that into me very early on, and also most definitely wanted me to keep God first and to go after what it is that I believe that I should be going out for. I see Marquesa saying Grambling State University.
I feel like I got cheated. I should have went to a black college. I was like, dang.
I love all HBCUs. I just always have to put a mark in there for my school. So no disrespect at all to anybody. You're going it, you're doing it, and any school that you go to is most definitely what you need to be doing.
Let me give you some sound effects.
And so I got into politics early. Actually, when I was in college, I was working on campaigns, and I just got that feeling that this was supposed to be something that I wanted to do, and that feeling has never left, because of the fact I've seen, I'm 37, not old, but I'm old enough to see a system that definitely needs to be taken down and rebuilt up.
Come on.
And rebuilt up by the people, because it wasn't built by, or it wasn't built for us in mind.
Come on.
And as years continue to unfold, we continue to see the exposure of how the system, most definitely, and we're not talking just the criminal justice system, we talk about a healthcare system, we talk about an education system. All of these systems are intertwined. And they have not been for us in mind. And so that's why we have not benefited. People can say that, black and brown people cry wolf. That is not a crying of wolf. That is a crying of disgrace as what we have been brought into. And we've had to have a mind of surviving. And so I don't want to see us in a mode of surviving anymore. I want to see us in a mindset of thriving and us being able to do whatever it is that we've been set out to do in all of these spaces and more. I see us in the tech industry being able to take over that. And I think I'm deviating off of who I am, because this is who I am. When I talk about what I see, it's because of what I've lived. Even though people may think I've come from a place of privilege, but I'm trying to use my privilege and my knowledge to be able to work this system the way that it needs to be worked. When you in it and you see it and you impacted by it, then it has to do something to you. I can't sit in my seat and just be comfortable. I think about the fact of we're in this quarantine early on in the months of the pandemic, and I was just compelled. I couldn't sit at home. I had the privilege of being able to sit at home and work from home. But I'm thinking about all the people who don't have that privilege and how it's impacting them health-wise, mental-wise, economically, family-wise. And what am I doing? I got to get out from my house. And I have to get myself involved further, because usually my work is involved of being an outreach. But the pandemic switched all of that, where I couldn't have interfacing with other people. So I had to think of another way. And another way is when you flex. When you see something wrong, you flex, you pivot, and you go to where you are compelled to do. And that has led me to what I've always known that I could do, should do, want to do. And that is in getting more involved with the people and getting more involved in issues such as our brother talked about. And that led me to, the People's Revolution. So professionally, I'm a Milwaukee office director for United States Senator Tammy Baldwin. For the past almost 18 years, I worked in the federal government. I served in the House of Representatives when she was a congresswoman. And when she decided to run for United States Senator, she asked me to come with her when she won. And I gladly accepted. And I felt like that was nothing but God's grace allowing me these opportunities. And because he's giving me these opportunities, I have to do something with them. And I have to do it in the time frame that I have to do it, and while people are listening. And so while I've had a tremendous opportunity, tremendous career, and she's definitely an advocate for what I believe in, what we believe in, and getting people to see differently than what they've seen. And that's been my role in being able to do that. And then her being supportive of the fact that I said I had to get out in the streets. I couldn't just stay at home. And that's what led me to the People's Revolution. And I'm so proud of this mixture of people who just came together as community and said enough was enough regarding a system that has unfortunately caused demise, caused trauma, caused tragedy to families, but also to communities, but also to us who are sitting here. And you can't go to sleep at night. If you go to sleep peacefully at night, knowing that all of this is around you and you're not doing anything about it, wake up from your sleep, is what I say. And so these folks who have come together, black, white, old, young, a mixture of everything. And I think that's what it's supposed to be about. It's going to take not just black folks getting up and doing something, not just brown folks getting up and doing something. It's got to take the people who don't look like us getting in the fight with us, and sometimes being the shield for us, because we've been doing it for far too long, and bringing awareness and bringing support to these families, to the family of Alvin Cole, to the family of Jay Anderson Jr., to the family of Antonio Gonzalez, to the family of Joel Acevedo, to all families, even going back to Ernest Lacey, and telling folks that we've been put on this pause on purpose, and it's for us to be able to do something about it, and not to disregard it, dismiss it, disrespect it, but we have to be the change that we want to see. And so for the past 205 days, there's been this continuous action, continuous marching, continuous protesting. It has caused a lot of hurt feelings. It has caused a lot of people to look differently at myself. I've been impacted by it, where I was arrested back in October during the curfew that was enlisted in Wauwatosa. And I'm going to say that
I remember that.
Do you?
I remember that. I saw that on live. You got into some good trouble.
I did. Got into some good trouble. And, I thought about it. I was very upset that night because, being in government, and I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm saying it because I'm a matter of fact type of person. So what I feel is what I say, because that's what it is. I know that we can do better, and I know that we should do better, and I know accountability has to be put on the table. And when I saw the excess of police, I saw how money is being spent right before my eyes, and we don't have money to fix schools. We don't have money to give people right now during this pandemic, and people are desperate. People are begging. Businesses are closing, but we have money to support curfews that are not instituted lawfully, but are put forth to stop people from exercising their constitutional right. And sometimes the Constitution only applies to certain things and to certain people and to certain places and times.
Come on.
And so, or when people want to put it in play. And so I felt as if this has been a group that has sacrificed and laying everything out on the line where we could be doing any and everything else. And I thank God for putting me in that place and time, and me just taking my thought and saying, I'm going to rock with it. And I'm showcasing. And I always said jokingly that if I ever got arrested, that I wanted to be live because I want people to view it. Mm-hmm. I want people to see my actions in that moment, but I also want people to see what's actually going on and how the system is failing us. And the response to that. Mm-hmm. And the energy behind my going live was way more than the energy of people who died. And so that tells me that we have a serious disconnect, that we have a serious problem, and we need serious solutions and serious people to take upon this mantle and take this seriously. I was arrested. I wasn't harmed during that arrest. But I felt that
Violated.
and I felt like I was supposed to be, that I did something wrong, and I didn't
did.
do anything wrong. I was only bringing awareness to what was wrong and what was going on, and bringing it to people's attention. Wake up. We have to wake up. We cannot run this show like it is 1940. We are in 2020. I'm degreed. It's plenty of people got degrees out here. Treat us as human beings, even if we don't have no degree. If we got a street degree, treat us as human beings. And killing is not the answer. Killing is not the answer to anything. And especially when you're in a position of power and you have other solutions and options to de-escalate things. And so, my arrest is what it was. And I don't regret it. I don't take anything away from it, but I now fight it to make sure that I don't have to be, or other people don't have to be in that position ever again to feel as if they have to put themselves in a position of being arrested. I think about what the late Congressman John Lewis said, a man who was arrested 45 times during his lifespan, and how he said that if you see something is wrong and you know something is wrong, you have a responsibility. I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I'm saying. You have a responsibility to say something, to do something, to get into good trouble. So this year has been about good trouble for me. And it hasn't been easy. And some people have shunned and shied away and turned away and said some things about me. And that's okay, because that means I'm doing the right thing. And I'm going to continue to do the right thing for the people, because that's what it's about. It's not about me. It's about the people and making sure that our issues that we have to get to the table, that they're at the table.
Absolutely. I mean, sister, you got something to ask her? 'Cause I want to go in.
You want to go?
I want to go in because she's talking like a mayor.
I just want to tell Ray how crazy it was that time at weekend in Wauwatosa. I was out there with Shady B. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like they treated us like cattle.
Yeah.
And made us like, they chased us pretty much out of Wauwatosa from the blue
gas
sign to the green sign.
Yeah.
They literally chased us out of Wauwatosa with gas,
Definitely.
rubber bullets, just excessive everything. They was out of order, and everybody couldn't believe, like, oh my God, Tiffany got arrested. Nobody could believe it. But can I tell you how player she is when she got arrested, bro? Tiffany, the only person who get arrested like hoes. Sorry, church people, for my language, but I'm just serious. She got arrested, player made. You know what I'm saying? But it still was a violation. We was mad.
Right.
We was
right.
mad though.
That's right. And then even within that, prior to my arrest, other people within the revolution who had got arrested, things happen. They call, I'm come running. Becca, they call, you come running.
For sure.
And so that's part of what I felt. I've always had this protection mode in me of protecting people from things that I know is wrong. And if I can do that, I'm going to do that. And it was a different feeling to see people get into a mode of protecting me. And I love that. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, this issue is about us. And it's enlightening to say that it doesn't matter what role you have, what title you have, what position you have. Racism doesn't care.
Don't care.
Discrimination doesn't care. Profiling doesn't care. Oppression doesn't care. It will call you out by name. It will single you out because it's afraid of the power that you have within you. And so I didn't look at myself as anything connected to government. I looked at myself as a part of the people because they made sure to make me an example as a part of the people. And so this is where we're at now.
And they don't care if you bootlicking either. You still could get it.
It's not. It has nothing to do with position or title. But I think the larger issue here is that we have a problem, and that we have people who are enabling this system to continue to go where it's been going. People are benefiting from it. But the bigger picture is, or the question is, what are we going to do? It can't just take myself and those who are part of the revolution doing it, those of you who are in here tonight, it's going to take those of you who are listening to this, who are watching, it has to take you being involved. That doesn't mean that you have to be on the streets protesting. Protesting is a form of change. Change can come in all different types of forms. You need to do what is comfortable and best for you, but you got to do something. And complaining isn't that.
That's right.
You have to pivot from that. And we recognize that the protest has had impact. It has brought the awakening and the awareness that we thought it should be and wanted it to be. And that is, we have people listening. They may not like what they're hearing, but they listening.
So what are some of the reasons what is the reason for protests? Because some people don't know. I know you just said a bunch of names, and you guys have been out on the pavement for 205 days. That's, you know what I'm saying, a success within itself. So why? For the people who don't know.
So, I'm going to be clear. 205 days, it not necessarily is a celebration, but it is a milestone. It is historic. And it didn't mean that 200 days or 205 days, like we were going to stop, or that was the goal. The goal is to seek the justice. The goal is to seek the change. And so if it takes beyond 200, if it takes 300, 600, then do it. So be it. But also think of the flip of that. And I'm going to get back to your question. The flip side of that is that it shouldn't have had to take 200 days.
Come on.
There should have been some things between day 1 and day 205 that kind of push people, empower those who have the role here in changing this to change something. But I also think that it can't just be incumbent upon elected officials to do it. We have to put it in their face. And then we also as community have to do that too. That work has to be 24/7. It can't just be when there is a shooting, a senseless shooting, whether it's in the hands of police or in the hands of just a regular citizen. The work has to go simultaneously. It has to happen all the time, because this thing happens all the time. So the purpose behind protesting, there's various forms, and I definitely will say that this is a non-violent group that has been out on the streets, and the purpose of it is you got to make some noise. If I make some noise right now, if I throw this microphone, you're going to look at me like, what's going on? That's the mindset. You have to make some noise. And in order to do that, you got to be on the streets. There has to be inconvenience.
Disruption.
There has to be disruption, because people are not disrupted. People are not inconvenienced if they can go from pick and save at 5 o'clock and get back home by 6, cook their dinner, watch a few movies, and go to bed. They're not thinking about this on their mind. And that's what's been going on. The pandemic has allowed for people to be at home all at the same time going through this same situation. But some people haven't realized that they are in the midst of 2 pandemics. A pandemic of healthcare, a pandemic of racial injustice. And so because there has been either an obvious, I'm just going to put this to the back of my mind and not pay attention to it, or it's people who just like, yeah, but I don't know, then we have had to put it in their face. And not put it in their face in a disrespectful way, but put it in their face so they can understand that there are lives who are no longer here, that can advocate for themselves and can be able to tell the story of what happened that day or night of their demise. There are families who will never see. We're in the holiday season. Christmas is in a week or less than a week. And there are families who are going to look around their family circle and see their loved one not there. But the biggest thing is they're going to say that the justice still hasn't been served. I haven't got answers. I haven't seen people held accountable. I haven't seen an officer apologize. A city, a community is all of the impacted by all of these things. And so the protest allows for the voices to be out there. The chanting, the walking, the marching, the singing, all of that, the sign holding, all of that are forms and ways to tell people enough is enough. Are you listening? And it's not just about no justice, no peace. It's that we're not asking for the justice. We're demanding the justice. And in history, I am a history person. history tells us, has shown us that a lot of movements, majority of the movements, not just impacting black and brown people, change has come because people have shown up. People have resisted. People have protested. People have said enough is enough. So therefore, what is the difference with this? There shouldn't be. Women's rights. There was a protest. There was a march.
Yes.
To vote. There was a protest. There was a march. Bloody Sunday. That's history. And if people are mad about history, be mad at who created this. Because it wasn't us. We've only just taken the blueprint of what has been presented to us, and we've just readjusted and worked it so that way we can now have our voices and our names of our people who have been a part of this unjust lifted up.
That's it. Say that.
So when you running for office? And what office you running for? We need some endorsements for Tiffany Henry here. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
even playing.
For real. We need some endorsements. I want to see her as the first black female mayor or something.
Respect.
You need a larger platform or whatever to influence that change from the other end. So when you running for office?
I know. I knew this question was coming. This question comes to me all the time from various folks. And I've always been so hard on myself when it comes to this because I am passionate about it and I do take it seriously. It was a long time ago that I left it on the table and said completely no, that I'm not going to do it. But it is something that I have given much thought, given much prayer to, because I know that I can't just be working from behind. At some point in time, I have to be the person that's in the front. And I will be honest that there's been fear because new levels, new devils is what my dad always told me. And fear of how people are going to perceive you, fear about how you can, if you're going to be effective, if you're going to actually be able to make impact. I'm my worst critic. So anything that I get involved in, I take 100% seriously because I know what's at stake. But I don't always want to make a decision in haste and thinking about the pros and cons. But I think the pros outweigh the cons, but making sure there's alignment and making sure that God is definitely calling me to that and not calling me just for social media's sake or for anybody else's sake, but for the sake of the work. Because we've seen time and time again people who we've believed in and they haven't believed in us. They haven't believed in the cause. So that means their work has been a reflection of that. And I don't want my work to be a reflection of that. And so I'm not leaving it off the table. I'm definitely seeking in my prayer closet and asking God to give me that confirmation. And when he does, that he's going to direct me to whatever that is. And so when it's time, y'all will know, because I never like to make announcements, just making them. It's all in plan. And definitely would, want the support of everybody to make sure that happens. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm a servant. And so I'm going to always serve and do what I need to do.
The perfect thing is you ready right now. So when the door open, you don't have to worry about if you ready. You ready
Walk in it.
right now. Just go.
Walk in it. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nitty, we
Order
need some
lady,
endorsements.
mayor, senator, congresswoman, Kamala Tiffany Henry.
And they, I don't know if they're ready for all the glitz and the glam too.
I
the
think
apple
they
bread.
ready.
Ready or not, here they come. They finna get all that black girl
they
magic.
I'm just teasing.
they
I'm just
ready.
teasing.
Share this live, y'all. Go ahead and share this live. You just heard from Tiffany Henry, our future
Some
president. Listen,
Whatever.
some.
Whatever.
We need to
Tell
get this
us-
lady in office.
tell us about something. We just seen something that Senator Tammy Baldwin just did that we found quite amazing. So tell us what that was.
Yeah, so her, she made a decision, and not just a decision, but wanting to make sure that, accountability was on the table, and that was putting the question as to why U.S. Marshals were enlisted to the city of Wauwatosa during the curfew, and wanting to make sure that if law enforcement is utilized, that they're utilized lawfully and righteously. And so because there's been so much, it's been a tumultuous time, spring, summer season in Wauwatosa, and just so many questions have arose around the validity of actions, they needed to make sure that not just our local and state, but also our federal officials are sounding the alarm. And so we're hopeful, I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to get those responses back, questions answered. And I think that's the role of those of us who are in government, and especially those who are elected, to make sure that folks who are public officials, because law enforcement are public officials, that they're being held accountable and they're held to a certain standard that they're supposed to follow. And so that's the purpose behind that, and to protecting the people and not making sure that law enforcement are just out here causing havoc for no reason. And even if that's the case, still identifying what are other ways to be able to utilize law enforcement when it's necessary. Because recognizing that, we're not going to be able to rid ourselves of law enforcement, but adjusting to where the action is necessary. And a lot of times we haven't seen the actions necessary for law enforcement to be present and to show up. So that was her action that she placed. I mean, again, there's just a responsibility that is being asked of our electeds in all positions. So I think all of our electeds should be asking these questions as to what's going on and demanding some things be answered.
Senator Baldwin, like, y'all done messed up now. Y'all done messed up now.
And also to make it be clear, because I wanted to two things. Is it wasn't in response to me, a response to my personal arrest. I work for her. I work at the pleasure of her as long as the constituents of Wisconsin vote her in. It was because she was compelled to do the right thing, and to make sure that people, not Tiffany, but people, which I'm a part of people, I'm a part of community, but to make sure that, she's doing what she's been elected to do, and that is to stand up for the people. It doesn't always necessarily mean that views will always be alike. The senator, definitely, I respect her through and through. She's been a huge fighter of a number of issues, and I'm so proud of that. And likewise, she respects me and respects, my fight that I've been a part in, because I've always said I'm a Black woman, and I can't remove myself from that no matter what I do. And so I have to respect my calling and respect who it is and respect that I am fighting for us.
That's what's up. That's Tiffany, y'all. She need a round of applause. Yes, thank you.
I love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
We love you too. So, we got Mr. Ray Nitty in the building.
Yes. Bow, baby. Bow.
Is your mic on? Is this mic on?
1, 2, 1, 2. Take my mask down.
Yeah, probably take your mouth. Okay. Yeah.
I am kind of soft spoken.
Okay, there you go. We hear you.
Can I say that I was so excited in so many ways to know that I was going to be on here with Ray Nitty?
Ew.
I'm gonna say two reasons. One, I love his music, but I also love. Love his music, but I also love the fact of what you guys are going to be talking about today, and the fact that he is transitioning and he's showing people how you can build, and how he's building on his craft and even going into another craft. So just much respect.
Thank you.
For sure.
That's your next
And have you ever seen
endorsement.
Tiffany bow? But I'm playing. I'm playing. No. She can bow though, but I'm playing. Back up. Okay. Grow up.
Okay.
Like, kudos to all the work that you're doing as well. You're a phenomenal, powerful woman. And whatever endorsements you need on our end, we definitely got you. I've been trying to campaign to see a Black woman in the mayor seat for a long time. So I'm down to see that. We in a good time, man. We got a lot of Black elected officials. Shouts out to the homie David Crowley, County Exec Marcelia Nicholson.
What's up? Respect.
So it's time for a Black woman to be mayor. So let's get on the same page.
Say that again.
I think the door just opened, Tiffany.
I've been waiting. I've been texting people.
I think the door just opened. Now. Play with her.
I feel like my personal thing is like everything does better. Business, projects, whatever, where you let Black women lead. That's just
come on home.
Like I've tried working with numerous males before in my companies.
Ego.
But now like like all my endeavors, I let black women lead. So
That's right.
And I feel like the outcome is always better when I just be supportive of the
Shout
black
out to black women.
So
That's right.
Protect
real.
black women.
That's right. Defend
Give black women a
That's
round
right.
of applause.
Defend
Okay,
black
Tom.
women. Love on black
They
women.
be trying to put us up under the table sometimes,
right.
but you know we don't be going. You know we ain't going. What they gonna do?
Exactly. Nothing.
Period. So yeah, y'all, we in the studio with Mr. Ray Nitty.
Bow.
I love it. They ain't even practice that. They ain't even practice that.
oh man, tell me
Share
about it.
this live, y'all. So tell us some good stuff. You know what I'm saying about yourself
Wait,
that
for
you
those
got.
who don't know you, who are you? I mean, everybody
Quit
in Milwaukee
playing.
know you, but you know.
Who am I? I am Regenio Alejandro Boynes first. I was born and raised in St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. I don't originally to talk like this. This how I really talk. I have an accent in real life. This how I talk to my mother and all of that. But I talk like this so people can understand. I talk like this so people can understand what I'm
Do
saying.
you know how to make curry chicken?
Oh, I'm cold in the kitchen.
Oh,
man.
snap.
I'm cold in the curry chicken. Whatever.
Dog came
I'm
on the
cold
show
in
with
it.
a whole accent. Wait.
Oh, you ain't ready for the accent. She ain't ready for
I
the
wasn't ready. He said bow.
bow, bow, bow.
I wasn't ready. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
so that's all fine.
You
So a
want
lot of people,
some
a
way.
lot of people don't know that about me. But I moved to.
That was in the camera.
You a whole
to
groupie
Milwaukee.
right now. We got groupies.
Yeah.
She was in the camera bowing. Ow.
Shouts out to homie, man. Sit down with the
Dan,
dude.
Destiny, Brandon,
Hey, Bill gang.
Bill Gang, Revolution, Breaking Barriers.
Yes,
all
sir.
of us are numb.
It's all right. It's all right.
All of us are numb in the building tonight. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
What you gonna get today? What did you go get?
So, from the islands.
Oh yeah, so I was born and raised in St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Moved to Milwaukee in '98. You know, my mom was in an abusive relationship, so she got me and my sister out of the islands. My sister was here at the time with her husband, who was going to MSOE, and you know, we just took refuge here. Then, as a young kid, I went to Burroughs for 8th grade, and that's why, like, a lot of the transition for me happened, like, when I started talking like this, because, like, in 8th grade, you know, kids is
Cruel.
kids, so it like, you know, you get the traditional African booty scratcher ribs, you know, you get them, you get them traditional ribs. But then you also have like a level of like ignorance that's not their fault, right? They just don't know. So you have people asking you all types of questions like, "Oh, do y'all
Climb trees.
do you climb trees?" I'm like, the crazy. I'm like, yes, I did climb plenty of trees in the island, but it's like, are y'all roofs? Do you have banana leaves for roofs out there? Do you know what a McDonald's is? Like, can you say Shaquille O'Neal? So I was like, after a while, I was like, all right, this is kind of stupid. So I adapted talking like this, but then after 8th grade, I went to the greatest high school in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Riverside University High School. Riverside University High School.
I'm sorry. Let me
repeat
let
that.
me know the
See,
real
it's
side.
a-
what's the
hey,
real
you,
beef?
you don't gotta say much to find somebody that went to King that's a hater. You went to King, didn't you? You went to King.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No,
Why you
my
acting like
son-
that then?
My son went to Riverside. He graduated. So
And you
let me
booed
give
it?
you.
Oh, I heard the whoop whoop.
That was me. No, that was me.
Oh.
Because he said it was the
What's
greatest.
the real
I mean,
beef?
It's okay though.
Oh, King and Riverside is just always gonna be on site.
Right.
Sports.
time.
Right.
It's
Every
sports.
time.
It's sports.
And
They
everybody
all-
else
you
is
know.
just the
Just high school.
instigator. That's all.
See, I just knew I just knew you went to King when you
think
did
I
the
went to
womp
King?
womp
Nah,
womp at first.
I
So
actually,
I
I'm
apologize.
from
I
Chicago. You know what I'm
apologize.
saying? I did graduate from a school in Milwaukee, but you know that's
Okay.
another story.
You ain't gonna shout it out.
No, I ain't gonna shout it out.
It
because
wasn't
it's-
King, so you can shout it out. Shout it out.
No, I'm not gonna shout it out or whatever. But shout out to CVS, Chicago Vocational High School.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
No, but Definitely. I went to Riverside University, graduated from Riverside. I did 2 years at Concordia University. I wish I had the black college experience that y'all was able to have, because I might have been one of the only African Americans that was like from Milwaukee at the time. And like they recruited minorities, but it was for sports. And they were from like Florida, Houston, things of that nature. So like,
me too.
you know, I was just like, man, I need some more people that look like me up here. So I went to the administration office, took a stack of applications, and went back to Riverside and like legit like had people signing up to come to Concordia. But transitioned into music out of college. Shouts out to Urban Underground for helping me find my voice as a 17-year-old. They introduced me to the form of like writing out my traumas and things that I was experiencing growing up. Shouts out to Muhib and Kwabena that came and did that poetry session.
Hey.
So a lot of that was shouts out to them brothers, man. I feel like poetry and Urban Underground really saved my life.
Yes.
You know, I was, you know, when you go through things, you kind of keep a lot inside. So when you keep a lot inside, it comes out in different ways. So shouts out to them for helping me really hone in on my passion and my skills and writing down my pain. And because, you know, you wasn't comfortable in just talking about your personal business with everybody. So shouts out to them for that. And then after college, did some music, then worked at Time Warner. Time Warner wasn't really it for me. I got fired. You know, it's some wild stories. These are not true stories, too, by the way. People got some real messed up stories about me at Time Warner. Say I was just canceling people jobs to go to the studio. And like, no, that's not true. But did Bow. Bow was a very a grateful experience in my life. Shouts out to the city of Milwaukee, because if it wasn't for y'all, none of that would ever been possible. And that was able to open tons of doors for me. And I'm 36 years old now. Bow was fun, but as I'm now growing and more mature now, I feel like I didn't want to just be known or remembered for, you know, making people shake their shoulders, have a good time, which is cool. Like, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to do a lot off of it, but it was like, is that all I want to be remembered for? Is that all I want to use my influence for? So it's like, all right, I started using my voice to do a lot more things, getting more involved in politics, helping people campaign. Shouts out to David Crowley. He was very instrumental in his campaign. Also, Urban Underground was very instrumental in me finding that organizing spirit as well through the work they had us doing. But now using my voice to and influence to build platforms for our creative community in Milwaukee. I feel like a common narrative is, in order to achieve a certain level of success, you have to leave the city, because there's no resources, there's no platforms, there's no opportunities. And over the last 10 years and being in all of these rooms, what I've found is that is the furthest thing from the truth. Milwaukee is rich in resources and platforms.
That's right.
We have just traditionally allocated these platforms in a way that doesn't necessarily serve or reach our communities. So for me, it was like, okay, how do we change that narrative? Like,
let's go.
And it was like, all right, I don't want to be one of those people that just complain but never take action, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, how do I take action? It was like, okay, we started by just doing certain things. Shouts out to Alderwoman Coggs, because she gave me the first opportunity to really try and build a platform for our creatives in the Malcolm X Middle School development that was supposed to happen. But that didn't happen as it should, but it inspired something in me, right? We was able to take a group of 10 creatives from Milwaukee and other places as well, and me and my partner Larry Sanders, they used to play for the Milwaukee Bucks. He invested in a creative hub in LA, and you know, we was able to provide housing, food, clothing, all types of different things for people where they don't have to worry about anything other than just working on their passion. And I'm very proud of that project, and a lot of great things came out of it. Shouts out to Business Boy. He was one of the creatives in there. If you know anything about Business Boy, he did Party Next Door and Rihanna's song that's #1 on Billboard's Believe It. He actually did like 4 records on Party Next Door. But one thing about Biz that I love is that he always wants to reach back to the city. So all these records that he he produced on, he had people from Milwaukee co-producing it on it with him as well. So 94 was able to get a Rihanna placement. So, but I say all of that to say the thing that I'm doing now is we went to LA and was like, okay, now that we was able to show a micro version of this creative hub, we need to do something like in Milwaukee, which birthed the idea of the community within the corridor. And shouts out to my partners on that, Q Elamine and Michael Wesley, both 2 dope, thorough brothers, man. Shouts out to Q, probably one of the smartest, intelligent brothers I've met in a long time. And he's very diligent in his work, and he's intentional about the work that he does as well. And I see how he puts certain people together for a reason. So shouts out to them brothers. And they have allowed me to be a part of this team of this development on 36th and Center Street, the Black Wall Street. That's what we call it. Black Wall Street.
Let's go.
It will be the mecca of creativity, ownership, and transformation. So we need everybody tapped in. It's a $60 million investment into the neighborhood with a $118 million economical impact. It's the state's largest affordable housing project in the state's history, and it's also the largest amount of money that the city of Milwaukee has ever given to a redevelopment project. So with that said, we have a lot of responsibility too, right? So with it having 197 residential units, that means 197 families. So we didn't just want to put up housing, right? We had to, like, what do our people need? How do we build community? We know Center Street is a food desert. So we took some of the ideas that the neighborhood wanted to see. Some things they wanted was a laundromat. Other things was a grocery store. They wanted daycare, right? They wanted just space where they could come and have access to the internet. So with all of that, we had the Creative Corridor, which really just aligned with everything that we was already doing. So now we have a laundromat. Shouts out to Justin Jenkins, another friend of mine. He'll be investing in a laundromat. We have a grocery store. We have a food hall that'll be incubating 8 new food businesses.
Are y'all listening to this? Share this. Share this live.
We really putting it together, man. But it's Black Wall Street, the mecca of creativity, ownership, and transformation. Our thing is we want to make real black millionaires in the city of Milwaukee, and through this project we've already created 3 black millionaires already, just off of contracts like asbestos removal, contracts like the roofing. So it's like, how do we, for us it was like, okay, we got $60 million that's going to be spent on this development. We would be doing this community and our people an injustice if we didn't ensure that some like this money was diverted back to our people. So like a lot of our fights was like, yo, we not moving this project along until we get black and brown representation on these contracts. So shouts out to Q and Mikhail and Tia as well. We have Tia Cannon. She's on our team doing a lot of the construction manager, black woman on our team as well. So we've been very diligent in those things, man, but we've been securing a lot of international and national partnerships for the corridor as well. The Creative Corridor will have 4 podcast rooms. They have 2 main studios, Studio A and Studio B.
This is a mecca.
4 smaller studios as well. Jade Sharon will be doing a dance studio in the space as well. As I said, man,
y'all moving in. What?
Come on, everybody. We need everybody, all our creatives, and like we need everybody tapped in, because I feel like creativity and art could really help inspire and change community. And I feel like the goal is to, okay, we get all of these creatives under one roof, right? But like now, what do we do with all of this creative energy? Like, how do we transform the neighborhood that we're dwelling within? So what's happening now is you're seeing people and white people coming around like, oh, how many houses are available over here by y'all development? Like, oh, this the same amount that was available
Before
10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, we want to see our people start taking ownership of the houses, that's on the lots that's over there. And then simple things like, we got Michael on the bid now, so he's now the newest member of the 39th Street bid. Bid 39. Shouts out to Dr. Jennifer Potts and RP Potts. Shouts out to Alderman Russell Stamper, who's been like walking with us step by step along the way. Even when like it was a point where like we legit thought that, like, the project was dead because you know, you waiting on tax credits. Some years you get awarded, sometimes you don't. And for us, it's like, you know, we still got to dump money into it every year that the project doesn't happen. We got to put the earnest money back up. You got a seller that's going to raise the earnest price every year. So we had all of these hurdles that we had to go through. But the alderman was very steadfast with us, like, yo, in life, like, especially in Milwaukee, like, you're going to get political hurdles, all of these hurdles. But are you going to allow that to say, to repeat that narrative of like, all right, forget it, we're just gonna pack up and leave and go do something? Like, no. So we said, man, we're gonna stick it out, we're gonna do it, we're gonna throw everything we got at it. And that 1 year that we said we're gonna throw everything at it, we got our final tax credits allocations, and now we're able to push the project forward. And we're looking to break ground in January and looking to be completed around spring of 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that is so exciting. I
know.
Where the hand clap? Ow.
I like her.
Oh, snap. Okay. So where is this Black Wall Street going to be located again?
Black Wall Street is on 32nd and Center. But when I say Black Wall Street, I'm not just referring to the community within the corridor, right? We're just one of the businesses on Black Wall Street. You got, like, Center Street is a long street. Like, I see Black Wall Street expanding all the way up to Big Daddy's. That's on, what's that, Holton and Center Street over there? And going all the way down to Ralph's. That's on 60-something in Center Street. Or even going past it. It's just like Black Wall Street. I just view it as Black excellence, Black businesses thriving, Black communities being rebuilt, Black families, like, and just seeing Black people thriving on Center Street, something that sounds foreign to people, right? But if you could imagine it, it could be real.
That's
and
right.
If you could believe it, then all we got to do is do the work to get it together. And I just feel like the community within the corridor is just a seed, right? That we're planting, and that energy, that Black Wall Street energy, that we want everybody to change the mindset. Like, oh man, this is really happening. We knock the neighborhood, we knock the doors. People are like, oh man, that building been sitting there for 40 years. Nobody's been doing nothing. I can't believe somebody's doing something. Like, I can't believe Black men doing something with it. It's like they can't believe that this is happening. So it's like,
So excited.
now that they could believe it, right? Now, how do we get the neighborhood to take ownership of the neighborhood, right? Something as simple as like keeping our neighborhoods clean, right? So you walk through these neighborhoods and they don't look like Black Wall Street just yet. But if we all get on the same page, and shouts out to the bid, we had a great meeting today. One thing we had in the building was a ton of barrels that was just sitting around, like over 500 barrels. So we're going to take all them barrels out the building, put them on every corner, from Center Street to Locust. And it's going to now be an art installation, but now the bid will be working with us in empowering young people from each block, giving them stipends to just clean up your block. Like, we already putting the bins right there. Just drop it in. Just drop the trash in there. So that's how we're looking to rebuild community. But first thing we need to do is clean our minds and our streets.
Say that again.
I love it.
It's like what
Driven.
we've been talking about, what we've been dreaming about, what we've been like trying to plan towards, and then the fact that y'all doing it right now is so inspiring.
Thank you.
It's so inspiring.
What y'all doing is inspiring as well too, because that brother that spoke before us, like, that really touched me, because, like, you know, I got here in '98, so I didn't know about that story, and to hear that the guy lived right next to you as well,
Yeah.
and I feel I'm a weirdo in like signs, and I feel like you have to follow them, and it's a reason you live next to that officer. It's a reason that young man reached out to you. It's a reason that all of us are here today. Like, I just want to connect them with my attorney. I want to know, like, what else have they done to get their story out, you know? And it's like what the creative corridor represents is like telling our stories. Like,
Yes.
can we provide him with resources to put a documentary together and to say, hey, how do we help amplify his voice? How do we tap into our Shouts out to my homie Robert Patler, who's now the head of Apple TV's talent development, right? And he's looking for black stories to tell through Apple TV. So it's like, how do we create these opportunities and tell these stories to be able? I already saved his number too. I already got it. So like, how do we be able to like really create and tell these stories? And the 205 days of marching, like, that's a story, you know what I mean? It's like some people don't even know the protest is still going on.
Yeah.
So
I think even with that, that's indicative of the fact of why the protest has continued, because we've identified people that we did not know, and I think even the community did not know. People who've lived here their entire lives did not know what was happening and victims of police brutality. And so I think connecting to that, we've been trying to do a good part of sharing. So we're finding out each day and sharing those stories, whether it's on social media, and getting people talking, getting people listening, getting people to do something. So I think even in, you know, Jimmy, you being able to share that information with us, and we can, you know, share that to the larger community when we're out here protesting, put your family member's name back out there, because I think that's all it takes. And I think that's even helpful for you and your family. That way the name is not forgotten, the story isn't forgotten, and that way it's still seeking the additional accountability. I think even continuing, if you haven't, of having those now new conversations with those current officials, elected officials, and having the space to be able to talk to them and find out, hey, what is it that we can do right now to even give some justice to the situation right now? And what is it going to take as we move forward, knowing that we have to work with attorneys, we have to work with other folks who have expertise, but getting this done. A lot of the delay has been because it's just been the kind of status quo of delaying these things, and then they go off the agenda, they go off the radar, they go off to people's minds. And so I think the protest is timely. All of this is timely. It's being able to reconnect what is most important and making sure that we're uplifting these things.
Correct.
Man, this was a heavy one today. When them kids told me they was excited for real. Then they came out, you know what I'm saying?
I do have something that is light, because I would have to slap my hand if I did not make sure to invite everybody out. So tomorrow, Sunday, December 20th, you know, we talk about community, but community has to start within us. And so it's the holiday season, wanted to make sure it's get cold in Milwaukee, get cold in Wisconsin, and making sure that the community, individuals and families are able to have winter coats, winter gear, not even just that, but toys for the kids and food for everybody. So there's going to be a winter coat, winter gear, toy, and food giveaway tomorrow from 2 to 4. The address is 1862 West Fond du Lac Avenue. It is being spearheaded and hosted by, we call her Mama Farina Brooks, with Taylor Legacies.
Mama Farina.
And the Dream
the
Team.
Dream Team. Breaking Barriers, who you just saw in the background if you was watching.
She on Center Street too.
Suzanne Smith, and the People's Revolution that I'm a part of. So shout out to everybody who has been spearheading this and putting this together. So make sure y'all come out, invite people to come out. You know, it's everybody first come, first serve. We're going to make sure that everybody gets something because we're going to make sure we're giving back. So it's the winter coats, winter gear, toys, and food, 2 to 4, 1862 West Fond du Lac Avenue. If you know where the Tandem is at, it's right next door.
Yeah, okay.
I know
And shout out to the Tandem.
I know I'm gonna be there. I know you gonna be there.
We
You
didn't
gonna be
already
there.
listen. I got a question for you. So how do yes, Dream Team rocks, Serena. You absolutely right. And hey, y'all, we acknowledging y'all, Erica, Angela, Hattie, all of y'all who tuned in. Make sure you share this live. How do we pull it in together? So like we have all of these different groups out and everybody is doing a different thing, but how do we function within our own functionality, but then in some way, you know how everybody is apart and then you come together for convocation or you come together for church. Like how do we bring it in together as a community to be resourceful to each other? Like how would Dream Team be able to help with the corridor or TPR with the corridor?
So I know me and Farina have already been sitting down.
Okay.
Like, I'm always an open book. Like I'm always like, that's a huge development, and we'll be ignorant as ever to think that we could make it successful by ourselves, right? Like it's gonna be a heavy lift, and we need strong men and strong women to help lift it. And I'm down for like any type of collaboration, any type of ideas, anything that I could do to support. And it doesn't have to necessarily be people plugging into the corridor. Like, how can the corridor plug into people?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, one thing I always say is like, I don't want to come on Center Street as if we have all the answers, right? Because it's been people already doing phenomenal work before we've even thought about looking at that building, right? So how do we elevate the work that's already being done? How do we amplify that work and just add to it? So that's really been the mindset that I've been trying to take, and the approach that I've been working on. And I think, and this might sound corny, but like I felt like in order for me to really get to the core of that, I had to like really do some soul searching in myself. And like I feel like we can't master the problems of the world without mastering ourselves first, right?
Come on.
So
Sound like you reading the 48 Laws of Power.
Listen, we done talked about this morning. Listen, how you gonna help somebody else take care of their house and you ain't took care of your own
you gotta
house?
master self first. So
Come on.
For me, like I'm on right now I'm doing a 33-day fast, right? And it symbolizes 33 days till we break ground. And for that fast, I'm giving up a lot of things. I'm giving up Mary Jane. I'm giving up drinking. I'm no social media for me. No sugars in my diet, but I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm reading. I'm reading a book right now. Well, I just wrapped up Outwitting the Devil, right? Also read a book, The Superior Man, and now I'm about to start a book, The Power of Now. But it's like being intentional about my prayers and the things that I'm praying for. And I'm praying for Center Street. I'm praying for black people. I'm praying for resources in abundance, right? To come to this city, because that's what we need. I say we need $500 million, and people look at me like I'm crazy. But I'm like, that ain't even half of the money we need. So like, imagine if I said the number that I really thought that was needed. But I feel like in order for me to even be able to be what everybody else would need me to be, I have to master myself first. So that's why I'm putting myself through this fast, and I have to say, like, it works. Like prayer like works when you really have intention behind it. And
That's right.
like I prayed for resources. I give y'all a quick story. I prayed for resources in abundance. Yes, that was my prayer yesterday, and I got a call from a young lady in L.A. and she was like, "Oh man!" Before I even told her about what I was doing, she was like, "You know, this is what I do. We put together festivals in L.A. We put together festivals in Atlanta, Dubai, all over, right?" So I'm like, "Okay, this is sounding good." Then the next thing she says was her dream was to be able to find a place where creatives could live, work, and get connected to resources and opportunity. I'm like, dang, you messing with me right now? So I'm just want to tell people the power of prayer, right? And then I'll even say another one. The first day I started it, I was praying for money comes to me frequently and easy in abundance. Not even 6 p.m. I get a call. It's like, oh, I thought I was going to be getting like 5 G's for a contract that I was doing whatever, but it was like, oh, you getting 30,000 for it? I was like, whoa, okay. So it was like, it made me like really look at myself and like wanted to be more intentional about my prayers and intentional about the things that I do. So I want to say, that's all I wanted to say. Like, we can master this thing that we're going through if we all individually take time to master ourselves. And I think the coming together would be that much more easier if I could just bring it full circle and say that. That's how I feel like we got to come together.
Die to yourself and we
Yeah.
can work together.
I'm gonna tag on to that because I think that question comes up a lot of why there isn't more collaboration where we have a lot of Black people in the midst of different institutions to be able to get some things done. Why haven't we seen it? And I think, quite frankly, we have to step outside of. Well, we have to have a purpose. Be purpose driven. And the purpose can't be about you. The purpose has to be about what that goal is and what's the outcome. And while we may have different ways of navigating it and getting to that purpose, the purpose has to remain true. But the biggest thing is people have to be willing to sacrifice. They have to be willing to put egos aside.
Self.
They have to be willing to put titles aside, positioning aside.
And put women in the
recognition.
forefront.
Put women in the forefront. He
Yes.
said that again. Oh man,
You know,
I believe in signs too.
Recognition and not thinking that it has to be done this way. Being innovative in our approach and saying that we have to be willing to take outside feedback, suggestions, help, assistance, resources, because we don't have the capacity to be able to do everything. And so sometimes tables that I'm in, meetings that I'm in, I sit and I look at the room. These are some of the same faces. Some of the same problems that we're seeing. Granted, I don't want nobody knocking on my door being mad at me about what I'm saying. This is not a slight at all. So please, people who hear this, take it from my heart and not from anything that is being negative. Because you can go to any other metropolitan city and their problems are the same. It's just that this is a smaller scale. They're on larger scale, so some things are not always as exposed. But if you talk to the people who are a part of community, they will tell you the same thing. But we have to get away from having the same people making the same decisions. And thinking that we're going to get the same exact...
Hand clap.
thinking that we're going to get the same type of result. And it's not going to be that way. It has to be the people who normally wouldn't have the opportunity to be at these meetings, directing and facilitating the conversation. Projects as to what he's talking about can't just be thought of by what he wants to have happen. It has to be community sharing and speaking and providing feedback, but then being a part of that process. And so when you ask the question as to how can all these things intertwine and collaborate, there are phases. So right now they're going through the building it up phase. There's going to be another phase when it's built that we can join in. There's going to be another phase that once everything is done, you're going to need workers. You're going to need people to be employed there. There are a lot of people who don't have jobs.
That's right.
So not thinking about how you can get something out of it, but what can you put in it? And I think that's what has to be at the forefront. I ask God all the time, if I'm not doing what you have sought me out to do, take me from it. Because I can't be committed to things that aren't benefiting community, that aren't benefiting what our goal should be, our universal goal should be, and that is getting out of the system of poverty, because it is designed to just keep us stuck.
Yes, it
So
is.
how do we get out of this mud? We have to get out our own dadgum way. and say just because, Ray Nitty doing it, let him do it. I shouldn't be mad about the fact that Ray Nitty is doing it.
And if y'all mess with him, it's gonna be a problem.
I shouldn't be mad
right.
about the fact that these two beautiful queens have a podcast and thinking that it's something wrong because they got a podcast. Family, hear me. It's okay for us to be able to be equipped to do different things. And it's okay for us to support it. Just because it wasn't our idea or we want the first people to be doing it, it's okay. Support it.
I just have to say, our future mayor, man, she need a hand clap for that one. And I want to add on to it, too, because we need more people with the mindset of Becca and Tiffany and Ray in the community.
And you.
Oh, yes, of me.
Tone.
Yes.
When I first met this lady, you know what I'm saying? We were talking, forget Tone, but happy birthday. But we were talking about collaborating on a project, and I was like, I don't want to step on your feet. And she told me, you want to tell them what you told me?
I forgot what I said.
Oh, she said, you can't step on my feet, sister, because there's enough room for both of us to walk
on.
around.
It is.
And when she said
It
that,
is.
I was like, yes.
It is.
Yes, I could work with her.
It is. Our counterparts don't think like that.
Unfortunately.
They don't think like that. They got an idea. They build a team of champions, of supporters, of people who can get them to achieve that goal.
Yep.
I feel like we're sometimes the only people who put our own fears, and myself included, our own fears in the middle of what we're trying to achieve because we're worried about what other people are going to do.
Yep.
When we just got to just do it.
And we allow other people to project their fears on our
On us.
visions
Yep.
and
On
our
us.
dreams.
On us.
It's like, just because it didn't, like, don't tell me how it didn't work for you. Like, we had plenty of people who tell us, like, oh, y'all crazy. Y'all trying to put $60 million over there on Senate. Yeah,
In
that's
Milwaukee.
That's exactly what we gonna do, not trying to do.
Period.
That's what we gonna do. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
That's right.
And like, just to add on to like everything everybody is saying too, you said how do we support each other? Like, I think you alluded to it. I'll just simplify it as simple as like, stop hating on each other. Like, it costs nothing to show somebody love, and it's definitely free to just shut up and not say nothing, even if you not supportive of somebody. Just shut up. That costs you nothing to mind your business.
Nothing.
Like,
Mind
what
your
do
own
you gotta
black
talk?
business.
You don't gotta talk negative on anybody doing anything. Like, we saw so much of people talking crazy about people protesting. Like, oh, that ain't gonna change nothing. Like,
Call me when y'all bringing the guns
you
out.
staying at home ain't changing nothing either. So that's what I would say, how we really support each other or collaborate with each other, because I think sometimes too we try to force collaboration in Milwaukee. I feel like
The synergy has to be right.
yeah, it do. And then like I think collaboration could even work simply by just not hating on other people's things that they do. If it's good, it's good. If it's the benefit of our people, it's for the benefit of our people.
And remember, it's enough room for everybody to walk around. You doing center. We need Locust fixed. We need North Avenue fixed. We need so many different people or whatever to invest in our communities. So it's not just one person or whatever that's going to be the solution. Like she said and he said, we all are the solution.
I mean, look at the building that we're in.
Yeah.
Amen.
Sherman
I'm
thing.
pretty sure there were people who didn't think anything good was going to come out of whatever situation that happened and question how are they, Joanne and Julie, how are they going to be able to put this building together? But look at what's happening and look at what's going on in it. And it's people even probably complaining that it's not the right thing in it. It's the right thing for what's needed. And people wanted it, people got it, and things always can continue to develop. I always think about, you don't have to be stagnant. If God give you 100 million, ask him for more. But you first have to be found doing your due diligence with that 100 million.
There you go.
Because he's not going to trust you with 101 million if you're not already executing on 100 million.
Yep.
So this property, this development is indicative of what God is able to do. And that he's going to build more and develop more. Conversations that are coming out of this, connections that are happening in this building, resources, just the love. All other things can come out of spaces when we just get out our own way. People may think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I've thought differently. I had the wilding out time when I was in my 20s, but that's not for me no more. I'm all about legacy.
Yep.
And what legacy am I leaving? What legacy are we leaving for these babies? For them to be
You ain't
able to
crazy.
see.
The roadmap.
for them to be able to see what they can do. We see what we become what we can see. So Center Street, people are going to see that. And they're going to then think, okay, we can do North Avenue.
That's inspiring.
That's motivation.
Shout out to Mike Taylor. Mike Taylor said,
Ray, what y'all doing? Yeah, shouts out to Mike T. He went back home to my home country and did camp back home in the British Virgin Islands. Quick thing, too, we are having like an exchange program at the corridor with young people from the British Virgin Islands and young people from Milwaukee, where we'll be swapping cultures and ideas and just experiences with each other. So people from here will be able to go down to the BVI and tap into the creative corridor down there. And the creative corridor in BVI, the kids could come up to Milwaukee and tap into it as well. So it is a model that we are looking at other places around the country to take it as well. So
the British Virgin Islands.
Yeah, BVI.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, but most of my family still resides in the BVI Tortola.
Dog, this whole time
blew
I'm
us,
like,
please.
dog came in here with an accent. Listen, I'm still tripping. Listen,
You ain't ready for the accent, man.
You-
Big vibes. Big
you
vibes.
doing your new music in the accent?
Oh yeah, so a lot of my I didn't even talk about music. A lot of the music that's coming out. I'll keep it quick. Juve Flex is the name of the new project that will be dropping. I went back home to the BVI, shot a short film, basically telling my story. Why did I leave? And then was able to show my culture, my people, our talents, and shouts out to Jay Sharon, who was doing the dance studio in the creative corridor. She directed, choreographed, and helped edited the film as well. And she also shot a film in the creative corridor called Gold, a dance film where it was a bunch of black women. It's based on black women superheroes. So she wants to do a film series. So I'm super.
Hold on,
Y'all gotta tap in with Jade. Jade is super dope, man. And we won the Milwaukee Film Festival off of that. So, and then she also won an award in China and Montreal for the gold film as well. So the work that is happening on Center Street is already being nationally recognized and internationally recognized. And our homegrown creatives are taking the torch and doing what they need to do.
That's
So
beautiful.
we aren't waiting for 2022 when the development is up to show the type of things that can happen. Oh, and then, I'm sorry, we be having a lot. Q LME, shouts out to Q again. We do have a laptop program that we're about to implement with American Family Insurance. We got 100 laptops where we'll be showcasing virtually some of the creative things that will be happening in the creative corridor. So it'll be a 6-week program. They'll have access to dance lessons from Jade, music lessons from me and Business Boy. They'll have Q and Yes will be doing tech and STEM virtually. Michael will be doing some business stuff as well.
Okay.
Latasha Smith will be doing art therapy as well. So we got 100 computers, man. 100 computers. And we extending the Wi-Fi so the neighborhood will have free Wi-Fi as well.
That's tight right there. Listen, with this virtual school, I know that was a issue with kids not having Wi-Fi in order to go to school, or adults to work. Period. Okay, music.
Oh, yeah, the music. So, dang, that's what I was talking about. And you know what? People would be thinking like, man, Ray, you still do music? I was like, yeah, I still do music, but I'm focused on Center right now. You know, it's been a 5-year process. So when you on a mission, you got to like give it your all.
Tell 'em.
To the music, we shot the film out there. We shot 2 out there, actually. Philly Flyboys shot both of them. Dropping, I don't know when I'm going to put it out, man, to be honest. Like,
You got a snippet?
like, do I got y'all got a snippet? I'll send y'all some music. I'll definitely send y'all some music.
Shout out to Philly Flyboy. He does great work.
Yeah, he did. And then what else we got? Man, music is like a tool for me, right? It was just my key, and it just opened up a lot of doors, and it got me in a lot of rooms. So I'm just trying to see what I could take from them tables in them rooms and bring it back to center. So,
There you
but
go.
yeah, I'm still putting out music, man. A lot of the music will have my Caribbean, my island influence in it, because I wanted to go back to my culture. So that's what.
Talking about the accent.
Yes, I'm tripping.
I could talk an accent for the rest of the interview. I close it over the accent.
Man. Mike said, tap me in.
Yeah, Mike,
me
we'll
in,
link
cuz.
you up, man. Big vibes.
Wait. Before, I know we're getting close to the ending of the show. How can our listeners get in contact with the both of you?
Yeah, so I'm on social media. Now I'm gonna tell you, social media is not my first thing, but most definitely Facebook. I'm Tiffany Henry. Email mstiff83@yahoo.com. I don't give out my personal number, but if you hit me up in my inbox or email me,
She said, check her out in a DM.
then you definitely you and I will be able to connect. And I say that on purpose because I do protect my peace and want to make sure that the alignment is right. And I just that's just my thing. But definitely hit me up if you need anything. If you also have anything work related wise from my professional side, that is Tiffany _Henry HENRY at Baldwin BALDWIN.senate.gov.
Okay, sis. All right.
You can find me on all social media platforms as Ray Nitty. That's RAYNITTI. Y'all, please stop putting a Y at the end of Nitty. It's RAYNITTI, RAYNITTI, everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, all of those things.
Man, somebody invite me to Clubhouse. I want to
Hey,
go.
Clubhouse,
Clubhouse.
low key,
Check it
Clubhouse
out.
is real.
What
Like,
is Clubhouse?
it's a new
Do you have an iPhone?
it's a new
Yeah.
social media platform where you could really have conversations. People are starting rooms and having discussions.
So it's not like pictures. You like
No,
actually
it's
talking to
legit.
people.
Yeah, it's just, and what I like about it right now is because it's still in its infancy stage, and you have so many like real people. Like you never be able to. I was talking to Ava DuVernay. Now I've worked with Ava on a project out in LA before, but like people are able to like really link up with legit people right now because everybody's on there.
Yep.
And they're accessible. So, for instance, I was able to talk to Jug Man. People are like, who's Jug Man? But he's Master P's business partner with the Rap Snacks and all the produce that they're doing. I'm like, all right, it's Black Wall Street. We need black produce in our grocery store. So we linked up with them to get some of these black produce on Center Street. And that was all because of Clubhouse. So tap in with Clubhouse right now because
I'm finna give me a Clubhouse.
before it get too populated, let me know because you gotta get the interview. I'll send you. You gotta get the invite. I'll send you an invite. So I'll send you an invite. But you can find me on at Ray Nitty at everything. My email is ray@sharpcreatives.com. That's ray@sharpcreatives.com. That is RAY@SHARP creatives.com.
There's no bow in any. I'm just kidding.
No bow. But stream it and download it. Keep streaming it and download it. Because y'all keep playing
A
as a reason, I
residual.
don't gotta work a traditional job.
Okay.
So,
I ain't mad. Listen. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, before we exit, episode 10 of Revolution Ready. Hey, first season ended. We want to give a shout out to Mr. Tone Deaf Radio. I'm just kidding.
And we want to say happy birthday.
I am nice. But happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
He came in today to let us do this show. He was supposed to be off. He came
voice
in.
over there.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
You finna
Mary
We
got a
appreciate
voice
it.
over there.
I mean, this is singer over here.
Oh.
I was just,
Come on.
I was trying to get the energy.
Oh,
on,
was
let's
she
go.
trying to? She just texted me too, like,
Come on.
sing it. I'm like, no.
Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Ow.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
You better dance or something. You better bow.
Bow.
Happy birthday.
Listen, that was
But no,
beautiful,
real
Tiff.
stuff, though. Big ups to everything you doing, Tone, man. You doing it on a real dope, huge level, man. You amplifying a lot of voices.
Yes, you
That's
are.
right.
You are
What they
needed. You
say,
are
giving the
valued.
flowers.
Straight up. I'm looking
While
at this
they here.
wall. This is very impressive. I didn't even know we had all these. I know we had plenty podcasts, but to see that you are producing so many of these, and you said these are only the ones that was able to hit the 10 episodes
Or more.
or more.
The last time me and you sat down and did a show.
Oh man, this ain't the Tone Show. Wait. Let's.
No, half of those came after you came from that visit.
That's called growth, brother. That's called growth, man.
Congratulations.
That's called growth, man.
Congratulations.
Keep it up,
That's my brother. I appreciate
Keep it up,
you. We
man.
love you.
We need you to come pop in on Wall Street, man. Pop in over there on Wall
He
Street,
said he.
man.
Well,
We got 4 podcast studios waiting on you.
He said he in one.
Let's go.
He in one.
Get it.
He giving his 60-day notice.
Let's
I'm
do
just
it.
So we love y'all,
okay.
Yeah, we love you too.
and we wrapping up.
Yes, we love you guys.
If you want to contact Revolution Ready, you can contact us at revolutionready.wi@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can go to our website, www.revolutionready.org.
What about donations?
You can donate at $ Revolution Ready on Cash App, or you can write us a
Donate
check.
to these black women. Please, text me on Cash App so I could. As a matter of fact,
Hold on now.
I give us a
Guys,
call.
listen.
Let's eat it.
But
Or
make
you
sure
can
y'all
write a
donate
check
them.
to Revolution Ready LLC, and we'll accept the check. Listen, this is our last episode for the first season for the Black Diaspora. And we just talked about different things, and we just highlighted different people in the community that we would like you to connect with. We want you to hear what's going on in Milwaukee, the great things that we have going on, educate people on coming out of the system, and to be uncolonized. Or is that the word? Uncolonized, decolonized.
Emancipate.
Come up from under that Western way of living, because you were never meant to live this way.
That's right.
But then what we have for y'all is gonna be a treat coming up. Season 2 finna be lit.
Did they see those 3 people that came in?
Listen, we got a treat for y'all.
Okay.
First, we're going to have a
Talking too
team
much.
takeover. Make sure that next Saturday is going to be Christmas break. Make sure you have your team sitting in front of the phone listening to the Revolution Ready. We got 3 teams coming in to take over the studio. And then season 2, for season 2, you know what I'm saying? Shani B and I. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We're going to be making some different moves. You know what I mean? But we got a treat for y'all coming up.
A big one.
I'm promise y'all gonna be entertained more than anything. You still gonna learn, but are you not entertained? You gonna be entertained when they come back. Y'all probably not gonna. Tone said y'all not gonna want us back.
Oh, he said that.
Yes, he did. But that's all right. That's how we like it. But we got a treat coming up for y'all, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. Share this live.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Go follow Ray Nitty. Go follow Tiffany Henry. Make sure you follow
Download Bow.
Jimmy McAfee. Download Bow. Y'all can dance over y'all holiday season.
It's new music on
Bow
there, too,
is
so y'all
new
can check out new
music
music.
coming. Don't worry, we not sticking him to Bow. He not stuck there. He done moved
We
from
got
Bow.
Champion Style is out. That's out. Champion Style is out. So check that out.
Yeah, but we got some good stuff coming for y'all. We love y'all. And until next week.
Love y'all.
All right. Peace. Until next time.
Hit that Cash App.